Hi, everyone. Harry here to talk about Judge Lewis Kaplan's denial of Trump's motion for a mistrial in the just completed defamation case brought by E. Jean Carroll, where the jury awarded $65 million in punitive damages and $83.3 million all in all. All right. So this was a motion that was brought during the trial, and we're sort of in a cleanup period now, looking to appeals, and the judge is focused on that too. So basically, on his own motion, he said, these things had come up at trial. He denied them, and he says virtually sub silentio, which is lawyer speak for just like without a word. Just I don't know exactly how, but maybe. Whatever, that was the denial, and he wanted to, make the record here for if and when Trump makes this a claim on appeal. But so the argument is, the sinister way to put the point is that E. Jean Carroll destroyed evidence, and that's a terrible thing, and justifies a mistrial. What the facts are is shortly after Trump first defamed her, she began to get threatening social media messages and even death threats. And she testified. In fact, she testified at deposition, which I'll explain why that matters in a bit. That, she ended the day, she would look at these, she'd be getting death threats. They were terribly upsetting to her, and her instinct was just to delete them. Certainly perfectly understandable, and in any event, nothing that she's trying to hide. Now, the motion, however, A, makes it seem surreptitious, and B, makes it seem like the Trump team was surprised to learn this at trial, and so they were prejudiced in some way. And Kaplan, I think by now has a pretty jaundiced view of Donald Trump and Alina Habba. This is the trial where, Alina Habba didn't know how to do a very, very basic lawyer's task. Says, no, there's no, he gives it, he's pretty summary about it, and he's just kind of making things, making a record. But he says this is the suggestion that somehow this was sprung on them is false. And, the jury heard this, right? And so, if the jury, they could argue that, she's trying to hide things, she's deleting, social media. I think it'd be pretty clear, as, the Roberta Kaplan, her lawyer says that, no, it makes perfect sense to be all of a sudden confronted with these traumatic death threats, that you delete them because they're so upsetting. And again, it's exactly what she testified to. So, no, he denies the notion that somehow there's intentional misconduct here that could somehow give rise to a mistrial, denies the notion that there's anything untoward here at all. If there was anything, to worry about, if the jury could take into account in evaluating her credibility and the like. So this is probably not the last kind of cleanup motion that Kaplan will write in order to sort of get the record in order for when this proceeds, as it will, to the Second Circuit. He puts all the words in there, but it's pretty dismissive, as indeed it should be, because it's A, deceptive, suggesting that something untoward or hidden, and B, ridiculous, because it's so understandable as a matter of human conduct that when she got these things, that her instinct would have been to delete them. So motion denied, explanation to follow. We now have the explanation, and let him take it up on appeal, but I don't think the chances are very good at all. And indeed, I think in general, it looks pretty strong for E. Jean Carroll and Roberta Kaplan on appeal. The overall verdict of the jury was not so inordinate, $65 million, given the amount of compensatory damage. I don't think it's going to be considered a sort of wild-eyed thing that the Second Circuit will think was, the product of prejudice or passion run amok. So one more, I think, meritless argument that they'll certainly make on appeal, but Kaplan has sort of now cleaned it up, given the reason to the Second Circuit that they can quite quickly, make quick work of it. Talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video and other Talking Feds content, please take a second to like and subscribe. Talk to you later.